ever. Okay.
Alright, so this is the special edition of the game that I made, the Arys Expedition.
What's so special about it?
It's got new stuff, and you pay for it. It's like a real game.
Oh, that's special.
You spend your money on.
I already played it for free.
Yeah, but now it's got whole new items and whole new areas and new characters and new texts.
Are there mods?
No, there are no mods.
Pass.
Thanks.
Why would you want to mod a point-and-click adventure game?
That just means make your own click and point adventure.
Yeah, it's not that hard. Download AGS and do it yourself.
You heard it here, folks.
Don't
Go
use
get it.
Don't use AGE. You have to learn French.
Unless, just go ahead and get it if you actually are French or understand French.
Yeah, use AGE if you're French. It's a great engine. All right. Anyway, go ahead and just hit new game.
I like the music.
Yeah, it was free on a free music site that I used and attributed to in the credits.
But you're charging for the game.
Well, yeah, because you're not playing the music. I'm playing the music. You're playing the game.
You're not playing the music. You downloaded the music.
Well, but I'm playing it as a DJ plays music.
Is it from like Ben Songs or something like that?
No, it is from Free Music Archive.
Ah.
The title of the songs and the place where I got them are in the credits.
I mean, yeah, standard.
Yeah.
Standard crediting.
All right, so you can go ahead and click on your crash site. Start your adventure. You read all that text. It says what happened, where you are.
There's our 50s ghost.
Yeah. So there was a problem here. I'm just going to go ahead and just say everything that was wrong with this as we come through it. Originally, when I made this, there's an animation that I spent probably an entire weekend on, where he was lying on the ground and then stood up at the very beginning of this, and I was just never able to figure out how to make that work without it happening every single time when you entered this ring.
I just always got the impression that, the ship crash landed and then he just steps out of it.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense from my
He's already out of it.
Yeah, well, I'd hate to retcon anything, but we could say that's what happened if it makes you feel better.
We can let the player just leave it up to their own imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my many jokes about just repeating the same thing over and over here. It'd be much more annoying in audio form. You should be happy that it's a text adventure. Or not text adventure, point-and-click adventure. Text adventure was Welcome to Pondview. I don't know if we can do a video on that.
What engine did you use for Pineview?
Quest 5. It's a very good text adventure creator engine.
Yeah, I was thinking about using that at one point.
And it does a really cool thing where it kind of has its own built-in community. So when you publish a game, there's already everybody else who plays those games and has the Quest engine can play it, and they can also download it. And that actually does have like a modding type feature where people that download your game can make changes to it. It's all like open source video game creation.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Unless you make something that you don't want anybody else to fuck with.
But if that's the case, can you just not put protection on it in the Quest engine?
I'm sure that you could,
okay.
in some way. I haven't really looked into that because I don't care. Because by the end of my text-based adventure game, I didn't give it. Anybody could do whatever they wanted with it.
Listen, if you could find a way to make it better, by all means.
Yeah. Listen, you go ahead. You go right on ahead. This is the best that anybody's ever gonna do.
Yeah, it's already a masterpiece. You can't get it better than that.
It's my magnum opus.
Magnum opus. Hoi hoi.
This is one of my favorite characters, the Niam Citizen.
Squanchy, the NCR Ranger.
His code name is Gas Mask Man.
I like him.
Yeah.
He's got an old senior card gauge gut. Then I hope you're ready, blenders. Something like that.
Yeah, this is another theme that I kind of explored in this game that I also explored in Welcome to Pondview, and that's that all of the traditional citizens of this town, they all wear some sort of mask. And in this case, it's to protect themselves from the various fumes and stuff. A lot of the people in this area of the world work in the mines, and therefore they have to wear these masks to keep from getting, bad lung disease.
While our protagonist slowly dies.
Oh.
Don't we all slowly die then?
Yeah, he's not gonna die at any point of exposure to the world unless you do something, you know.
Aren't all deaths exposure to the world?
Way to be
Oh, well, let's take a step back here. Isn't all life just an STD?
Way to sound deep, 14-year-old me.
Humans are a virus. I watched The Matrix.
I've listened to Meteora by Linkin Park at least 20 times. Those guys are only gonna go up. Trust me.
Okay, computer, and In Rainbows is the same album, man. It's the same album 10 years apart. The ones and the zeros line up, man. Anyway.
Did you talk like that when you were 14?
The Fifth Amendment.
I was gonna say the fifth. Go on.
The fifth of vodka.
So how are you liking this character? Is he interesting to talk to?
Yeah, no, he's keeping it
got a
going.
lot of personality?
Yeah.
Or is he really fucking tedious and you're kind of tired of clicking the mouse at this point?
Nah, I mean,
I could have drug it out longer, I guess.
I'm down for reading though.
If you're tired of clicking on the mouse, maybe a point-and-click adventure is not for you.
That is also.
Well, I like to take that idea with this game and deconstruct it up until the point that I run it into the ground, and then twist it back around and run it into the ground again.
So it's like a drill.
Yeah, it's kind of like a drill at the dentist office with no Novocaine, and you're stuck in a maze and you can't get out, and you have to call the person that made the game for help.
Man, as unpleasant as it sounds, wouldn't it be nice just to be able to go to a dentist?
I just wanted to make fun of the time when you had to call me because you were stuck in the maze and you couldn't figure out what to do.
Oh yeah, that's true. See, now, that's a perk you don't get with buying the special edition.
Well, I did make it more apparent that because in the original edition, there was no way to know what the right way through the maze was. You just had to guess.
Right.
And in this version, I do have the historian tell you the right way.
Mm.
But I also have her tell you, like, 4 wrong ways, and you don't know which one of the ways is the right way that she says. But one of them is the right way. I don't actually remember which one of the 4 it is. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you know, I always wanted to, whenever I make a game, I feel like it's almost a necessity to include some sort of a maze area.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're such a staple of old point and clicks and old adventures.
It adds depth in the sense of accomplishment.
I mean, even Zelda always has a lost woods somewhere.
Oh yeah.
You know? I think I make a joke about that in my maze. Where I say, if only I could follow the sound of music to find my way out. Or something like that.
There you go.
Wait.
Yes, it's clever. Oh, Marcus!
I loved Marcus. Marcus was my favorite part of the game. Actually.
Yeah, I think Marcus was my favorite character to write for.
Yeah, I love the whole the Wi-Fi symbol.
Oh yeah.
And how people flock to it. That whole bit of dialogue was really good.
Let him get to it. Don't spoil it.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure Tony knows that he's supposed to click on things.
Yes. Tony, have you played a point-and-click game before?
Yeah, actually.
What's your favorite point-and-click game?
Oof.
Or series, or a couple of games? Give me some that you like a lot.
Crap.
I haven't played that one.
I haven't played crap.
I don't know, man. It's been a very long time since I've played any.
Okay. Well, Eric and I are just going to talk about ones that we like. Then.
Adventure Quest.
Adventure Quest.
Adventure Quest.
That's a Flash game.
That's a Homestar Runner. Actually, no, that's more of a text
No,
based.
No. Well,
You get both.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adventure Quest is a Flash game that's like an RPG. It's like a Dragon Age anime RPG.
Adventure Quest Worlds or whatever.
Yeah. And then there's whatever you're talking about.
Oh wait, no, I'm talking about Peasant's Quest. That's the name.
Yeah.
Peasant's Quest.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Okay. Never heard of that.
It was on Homestar Runner.
Okay.
It was really fun and hilarious. And
Well, I assume that's making fun of like the old King's Quest and Space Quest games.
Yeah, essentially.
absolutely.
I like the King's Quest games a lot when I was a kid. King's Quest 6, I think, was my favorite, which I think is called Air Today, Gone Tomorrow. Yeah, you know, like an air.
They did a lot of
It was all
puns.
puns. It was all puns, except for King's Quest 8, which was my second favorite. It was called Mask of Eternity, but that wasn't a point-and-click game. That was a 3D, fully animated game that still had point-and-click mechanics and was very frustrating to play.
Was that the one that was made by fucking Telltale or whatever?
The one that was made recently wasn't even made by Telltale. That was made from the newly revamped Sierra Online Entertainment, who's now just called Sierra, I think. But Sierra and LucasArts were the two that really made the most point-and-click.
Oh yeah, like
games
Monkey
back
Island
in
and
the
shit.
end. Oh yeah, all the LucasArts ones, almost all the LucasArts ones were fairly superior to Sierra's, but Sierra just had like a tongue-in-cheek humor and like a meta-ness about them that LucasArts didn't really. But that's mostly because of like Ken and Roberta Williams being super full of themselves and wanting to insert themselves into the end of all of their games. And so far, even though I am like very, very egotistical, I've refrained from putting myself into my work.
Yeah, you can have characters based on yourself or aspects of your own personality or experience, but don't just flat out put yourself.
Yeah, well, no, Space Quest 3 straight up ends up with, like, and Leisure Suit Larry, too. They both end up with the characters working for Sierra Entertainment in their offices as video game creators about their lives. Like, it's so up its own ass. It's ridiculous. Like, the whole plot of Space Quest 3 is you have to rescue, they call them the two guys from Andromeda, but it's just two people that work at Sierra, and you have to return them to Earth. Like, there's no, like, actual story there. It's just like, I don't know, what if there's dudes in space, and then we bring them here? Go.
That was the last season of Red Dwarf.
I knew I didn't like that show for some reason.
I
didn't like that show for the first season and every other episode that I saw. That's the reason.
No, you didn't see the Kennedy episode. You got to see the
I'm
Kennedy
sure
episode.
I didn't see the Kennedy episode. I wasn't even alive then.
Kennedy episode is the best one. I won't spoil it for you, but it's really good.
You can go ahead and spoil it for me. It's not good.
I don't want to spoil it for the internet.
I'm sure the internet has seen the last episode of Red Dwarf.
Okay.
I mean, it was like 30 years ago.
Okay, so it turns out that if Kennedy were allowed to live, it would usher in a new age of communism somehow. So they had to take a past Kennedy before Kennedy was assassinated, and that past Kennedy was actually the second gunman on the grassy knoll.
Past Kennedy shot himself?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That doesn't sound anything like the Red Dwarf season 1 that I watched.
No, that's like in the third or fourth season. That's why I said you have to power through the first season, because the rest of it's just phenomenal.
I hate that. I don't want to have to power through something
Well, just
shitty.
pick it up on the second season then.
But then I won't know the characters. I want to know the characters.
Read the wiki.
That's a good point.
There's really only, what, 3 or 4 reoccurring characters the whole series.
I don't think I'll ever care enough to do any of these things.
Okay, well then don't.
I'm not gonna.
Good.
Tell us your octopus joke.
I didn't have an octopus joke,
Oh, I thought you did.
but I'll tell that joke I was trying to tell earlier.
Wasn't it about an octopus?
No,
Oh.
it was about Quasimodo.
Oh, that's right. I don't know why I said octopus.
I now have to think of an octopus joke later. I'll do that. But anyway.
What has 8 legs and can jerk off 7 dudes? A spider.
So Quasimodo goes to the doctor.
Right.
He's worried about his big growth on his back.
His hump.
Yeah, it's big. It hurts. He's worried it's gonna kill him.
Esmeralda's just looking at him all funny from across the room.
Yeah, well, I mean, she kind of does that anyway because you really don't get used to the sight of that guy. But
it's the one eye that's bigger than the other eye. That's always what throws him off. You know?
Yeah, it's just asymmetric faces.
Yeah.
But anyway, he goes to the doctor.
Symmetry sure turns me on.
It does statistically turn on a lot of people. The more symmetrical the face, the more attractive you are.
I'm spoken like a serial killer over here.
Got him.
That's just science.
You're science.
We're all science, Tony.
But anyway, Quasimodo goes to the doctor.
Never gonna get to tell this joke.
Gets his growth looked at. They do all the tests. They run all the scans. A couple days go by. The doc calls him. Mr. Moto, you have nothing to worry about. It's not cancer. It's not a tumor. Everything's fine. And Quasimodo goes. He just says to him, "How do you know? How can you be so sure?"
I know I hate to interrupt your joke yet again, but Tony, you do want to pay attention to what that dream catcher says. You shouldn't just click through everything, because even though there are a lot of fluff text, some of the text is actually important.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Quasimodo says to the doctor, "How do you know that my hump isn't a tumor?" And the doctor says, "I just call it hunch."
I will not. I will not laugh at that. I can't believe you were trying to tell that joke for so long. And I can't believe you didn't drag it out longer.
I tried, and then you kind of helped me along the way.
I know.
By sidetracking me. How does that make you feel?
Good.
Okay.
A little bit that I helped.
Only prolonging the inevitable.
But I do like the joke. Let me just analyze it in my brain for a second. It's fun.
I feel like it's a good joke.
It's a simple pun, but simple puns can be good if they're done properly. I have heard it before.
Oh, really?
I'm not gonna lie, I have heard that before. And I think one of the problems with it is that nobody calls it a hunch anymore.
Yeah.
Like I get it, hunchback.
Yeah. That's why it's funny.
And then maybe like
It's
you have to emphasize the back part right before he says hunch, though, for that to really land.
Right.
Because immediately you're just like, you don't have a hunch on your, you know. But it reminds me of another joke that's I can't even remember where the first place I heard it was, but I think I might have told it to you already. And I know for a fact
we've been friends for how long? I think we've heard all each other's jokes.
I can make up a joke you've never heard before.
That's what I thought I had done.
Dead babies in a blender. Tony, why don't we go to you and you tell us what you're thinking, what's going on now? I haven't actually looked at the screen for a minute, so I'm not sure.
I've been reading a magazine for a little bit.
Oh yeah, that'll happen.
It's talking to Masquerade Gandhi.
Sometimes books and magazines are important and can link to items. Sometimes it's just a whole bunch of fluff text that I felt like adding.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Some of these are just unfinished stories that I never, could think of where they put, so I just threw them into the game.
Yeah,
more world building.
You gotta use it for something.
You gotta understand the world that you're in so you can understand how to solve their problems, you see. Oh, this is I can actually talk about this. This was a story that I wrote called One Long Swim, and it was going to be about a guy who swam the England to
English Channel?
Yeah, the English Channel. Thank you. I don't know why I was blanking on that.
He swam the BBC.
I wanted to say Strait of England for some reason.
Yeah, it's not quite the same.
It's not quite right, and it was a fun story that I kind of had for a good while, but then I read some reports on it, and from what I had already established in canon in the story that I didn't want to rewrite because I thought was good, I was fairly certain that he would die and not make it across. And
dogs.
Yeah, dogs are causing some sort of a ruckus out there.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just felt like it wasn't feasible for this character to survive, so I never actually finished the story. And then I threw it into this game for the hell of it.
That is a fun story.
It is, I guess.
That's a fun story about your not fun story.
Yeah. It would have been better if it hadn't been interrupted at the end by howling dogs.
Oh, that's how I felt about my joke.
Oh
man.
Oh, was that a dig? Is that what that was? That was a dig at me.
That was a little bit of a dig.
For interrupting you towards the end of your joke to tell Tony something about the game.
Yes,
that's funny.
I thought so.
So there's this priest. And this priest wants to hold a big dinner.
A child.
There's a bishop coming in.
Oh, okay.
From the Catholic Church, and he's coming to survey all the little parishes in the area. And I'm just going to mix up religious words throughout all of this.
Oh yeah,
I
go
don't
for
know
it.
the proper hierarchies.
It's
The head dude's coming down to check out the bottom layer dude, and he has to look around to make sure everything's okay. So the bottom layer dude's gonna hold the dinner for him. And so he decides he wants to have a big old fish dinner. So he calls up a fisherman. He says, "Get me the biggest, tastiest fish you can." The fisherman says, "Yes, sir, Mr. Preacher Man, I'm going to do that for you." A couple of days go by, the bishop's coming in at the end of the week, so the priest starts getting a little bit nervous. He calls him up. He's like, "Hey, man, you have that fish yet?" And the fisherman goes, "Man, I ain't caught that goddamn fish yet." And the priest is kind of like, on the phone, he holds it back, and he's just like, "Sir, you should not, speak blasphemous and take the Lord's name in vain." And the priest, no, it's fine. That's what it's called. It's a goddamn fish." And the priest says, "Well, I've never heard of a fish like that, but you do what you have to do, I suppose, as long as you promise you'll have it here on Sunday." And so Sunday morning rolls around, and the bishop comes in, and the fisherman shows up to church, thankfully, with a giant cooler, one of those big igloo, nice coolers.
Yeah.
Maybe not even igloo,
Big enough for a goddamn fish.
No, it was probably in a Yeti cooler, if I'm going to be honest, just because this fisherman really wanted to impress the priest, and he did feel bad about it taking like all week for it to get there, And so he gives it to him, and the priest is just so thankful, and he says, "All right, what I would really love is for you to, because you did all this work, I want you to have dinner with the bishop and me tonight when he comes over." And the fisherman says, "Thank you, I will, that's very nice of you." And he goes and he sits down. And so the priest takes the fish, and he takes it to their executive chef in the back of the church. It's a fancy church, and it's not like your little. I mean, it's kind of run down, but it's fancy enough that it has its own like kitchen and everything.
It's like an old cathedral that's been modernized.
Well, it feeds homeless people.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Is the thing, and it has like you wouldn't want to call it a mess hall. Like they call it a rec center on tax forms, but it's basically a
fellowship
mess hall.
hall.
Yeah, fellowship hall is a good term for it. And so he takes it to the chef back there, and he says, can you clean this goddamn fish for me? And the chef says, "Excuse me?" And the priest says, "No, that's what it's called." And the chef said, "Oh, okay, yeah." And he gives him, he says, "The bishop's going to be at the house at this time, blah 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 blah. Can you start getting this ready for me?" And the chef says, "Of course." And again, the bishop, thanks him and says, "I would love for you to come have dinner with us since you spent all this time preparing the food." And the chef said, "Yes, I would love to. That's very generous." He's never met a bishop before. And so later on in the evening, they're at the pastor's house, the priest's house, whatever I was calling it. And everybody's getting together, everybody starts showing up at the house. He takes everybody's coats, hangs them up. He's a perfectly gracious host. It's kind of weird because the fisherman, he's lower class, and the bishop is like super religious and high up in the church, but he seems to be getting along good with everybody enough.
Mm.
And the chef is helping the priest in the kitchen, get stuff ready, but he's still like trying to be a guest, and the priest is trying to be polite and keeps pushing him out, saying, "No, don't help, I can do it, you've done enough, go on." And so they all finally sit down for the meal, and the pastor puts down the fish right in front of everybody. And he's got the big one of those like nice serving dome lids, like a nice shiny aluminum metal. And they sit all down, and the pastor says, "Does anyone want to say grace?" And the fisherman says, "Well, maybe I should, because I caught the goddamn fish." And then the chef says, "Well, maybe I should, because I cooked the goddamn fish." And then what'd you do, Tony?
Oh, thank
You
God.
almost-
How do I
almost
get out of
ruined it.
this dialogue?
Build a steeple.
I already got the
Oh, you already got the thing. Hit exit up there at the top.
Oh, I'm done.
Okay.
This is a really long joke.
So where was I?
That's a long goddamn fish joke.
So they all sit down at the table, and they bring the fish to the table. It's got a nice stone aluminum lid. Everyone sits down. Priester says, "Who wants to say grace?" I said, "Priester."
Yep.
The priester says, "Who wants to say grace?" And the fisherman says, "Well, I caught the goddamn fish." And the chef said, "Well, I cleaned the goddamn fish." And the pastor says, "Well, I decided that we should all have the goddamn fish." And the bishop looks around and he says, "Well, I like this fucking place already."
That's pretty good.
I think I actually did hear that for the first time on one of Yahtzee Crowshaw's streams when him and Gabe were playing Dark Souls. And I wanted to see what Dark Souls 2 was like because I had 1 and 3, but I didn't want to pay for 2. So, you know.
Music is suddenly back.
Music suddenly kicks back in because Tony went to a new area.
Yeah.
My musical cues are not great. Depending on like where you get stuck and where. If you were following the game perfectly, you're never without music. Think about that. Maybe you should follow the music after all. There's another retcon of intelligence.
That's so clever.
It sure is.
I also like your out of place little dwarven robot guy.
Yeah, that was another guy that I designed in one of those free make your own creature apps that you find on the internet. You know, just like make your own bullshit. And I found that, and then I did it twice, and I combined them, and then I fucked them all around, and I came up with that thing that I kind of liked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too bad he doesn't do anything, though.
Yeah, that is true.
It's a shame. It's a missed opportunity. His art style doesn't even match with the rest of the game.
He's so out of place.
He's the only character in the game that looks like that.
Maybe he's from some sort of alien world.
Yeah,
Maybe
like,
he was marooned here first before you got here.
Yeah, he's like a Transformer leg.
He reminds me of, he's like...
Optimus Prime's ankle.
It's like, you know the Dwarven Centurions from Elder Scrolls? The big Dwarven robots?
The ones
It's
that
like,
roll around on the ball?
No, that's the sphere. The Centurions are the big, hulking ones that are bipedal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like you stuck one of those heads on one of their legs. And it just hops around.
Okay.
Imagine fighting one of those. It'd be easy.
I want to move this along just a tiny little bit, just so Tony doesn't get stuck in here for too long, because I think this bookshelf is bigger than some. All you need to do, why don't you go ahead and step away, and then pick up this letter right here on the table.
That one?
Yeah, you'll need that later on.
Ah.
Alright? And then that's about all you need to do with that bookshelf. There's other shit in this room, though.
Oh, yeah.
You might not be able to use it right now.
You're going to have to come back later and get it.
Yeah, a couple of times, actually. This is a pretty rollicking shed. Oh, and guess what, Eric? In the special edition, you get to go into the visitor center.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was closed. It was closed all in the regular edition.
I'll spend $1 for that.
Yeah.
I will.
Well, you won't now because you're gonna see it probably.
Yeah, probably. I didn't do.
It was a bitch though that you couldn't get in there.
Was the part at the building the sandcastle, was that special edition?
Yes.
I didn't do that either.
Yes, that was also new. I mixed up where you get some of the items and added a few like puzzly things.
Oh, okay.
And that was one of them where I just wanted to see like how much people were interacting. So I'm glad that Tony figured that out because you never know what people are actually going to click on and what they just assume is scenery.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
There's another creature that I kind of liked.
Yeah, I like this, and I like the masqueraded shopkeep. And
This guy actually started as an idea I had when I was about 12 years old, called Mr. Tornado.
okay, yeah.
And Mr. Tornado would be a Mortal Kombat character that was basically like a grayer ninja than Smoke was,
Mm-hmm.
and was constantly flickering in and out of existence and had wind. Before like Fujin was created,
I was going to say that character grew up to be Fujin.
Well, apparently so. But this was during Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 era, not MK4 era.
Right.
And time makes fools of us all, it seems, as we grow older, and the video games we want when we're kids suddenly get made into shittier versions and as we turn into adults.
And more expensive.
Oh, isn't that the truth? Aren't you fucking excited to pay $80 to have a Super Nintendo with only 30 games again?
No, because I have a computer and the internet.
Yeah, or no, because I still have a working Super Nintendo, because back then they
Oh,
made
yeah.
shit to last.
No, I already have a Retron. I can play NES and Super Nintendo games on it. So
I get the idea of it and the
and it
novelty
didn't cost
of it.
anywhere near $80.
No, that's fucking ridiculous. And for only a set amount of games. Not just for whatever games you can get for it, but for just a set amount.
And then they're gonna
Like,
release.
there's hundreds of Super Nintendo games.
Yeah, they're gonna release more with like different games on them. But
You
they're-
think that?
and
They
they're
said
gonna-
that for the
and
NES
they're gonna
Classic too.
charge.
What happened to that? They gave up after a year. I don't fucking trust Nintendo in the long
Yeah.
term. I just don't. They fucking burned me too many times. Well, not me personally, but people.
Yeah, the consumer.
Because they stopped making good games after the
Certainly.
GameCube.
But I mean, they are bringing a Pokemon Adventure to the Switch, like a brand new Pokemon
It's a
Adventure.
sarcastic woo. I couldn't tell if that
I'm
was
excited
obvious.
for it.
All right, Tony, tell me your thoughts. You look a little confused.
How do I open my inventory?
Right click.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I think I remember.
Talk us through your thought process.
So, like, I think I have to go back to that lamp at the beginning and use the fuse on it, perhaps?
That is an idea.
You can certainly try it and see if it works.
I don't know, the fuse wasn't even in the original edition. That's also special. Sure doesn't. That's because it wasn't in the regular edition, and I didn't go back and change the coding. You're wrong, though. It doesn't work. I'll go ahead and tell you that broken street lamp is a red herring.
Oh.
It'll never be fixed.
Lame.
It's kind of fucked up because you crashed your ship into the wires that run under the ground.
Oh.
That's the explanation in lore. So really, it makes sense.
Thanks.
Fuck you for not getting it.
Thanks, Vatty Video.
You should pay
Yeah.
another $1 for this director's commentary.
That's right.
Patreon.com/filthyandfree.
Ask us about Paul plates.
Please.
We're really into our Paul plates.
We're proud of them.
We made all these plates, and now we don't know what to do with them. They're piling up. Plates piling up.
We
Leslie
still,
Loire.
we still get,
Pridefully peddling Paul plates.
we still get weekly
to the
shipments.
public.
They're still coming in. I've stuffed some in the shower, but I keep slipping, and it hurts. I've broken like 20, and I can't afford all this overhead.
I've tiled my floor with them.
It looks really good, actually. If
But
you want to buy like 70 Paul plates and tile your floor with them, we'll give you maybe like a 2% discount.
Imagine being able to play Paul in every inch of your house.
You should tile your entire house in Paul plates.
Oh yeah. Your roof too. You can play Paul on the roof.
And not only that, but it's great for the environment.
Is
Yeah, they're made out of ceramic. Obviously, ceramic's terrific for world.
world.
Well, I think we took that as far as that could go.
Yeah.
This character I did not like so much. This is the first character I made for this game. Before I even made the main character, I made that guy. And I like him, I just don't quite like how I used him here. I had more of an idea and a backstory, because if you'll notice, Tony said thanks body video earlier, and now I'm kind of starting to get that idea from what I did here. But maybe that's why I like Dark Souls so much, is because I like environmental storytelling.
Right.
And if you'll notice, his staff is flickering in the same manner as the lamps are.
Ah.
So maybe they have some sort of connection. He says he's not from here. He says he's from that nearby planet that's hanging in the sky. You can click on that planet and get a little more information too about it. But maybe he's either lying to you, or those two planets have a deeper connection than is readily apparent.
Like they're sister worlds.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then he just scurries off.
Well, that was
Just-
weird.
Just to do Jawa stuff.
Yeah, I was playing a lot of other point and clicks to get into the idea, and it's hard to not have a smart ass protagonist sometimes after something happens. Like, he's just such a readily available character to give a quip it's hard to, especially in like the stream of consciousness that comes from like excessive dialogue writing. And here's where this is the introduction to where you're gonna have to go through a maze in the woods later, is that there's a dark link in front of you. Here's a shadow version of yourself.
Yeah.
Much
You
taller
have
than me.
A Liu Kang trial.
And then you have to face your worst fear before you get into the maze too, so, you know, you're not quite wrong.
Did you see him tell you they're monsters?
Yeah.
Look out for the monsters.
You know, there's a problem with that if you later on, I'll go ahead and say later on, well, there is a way to get rid of that character, and you can do it now, Tony. And if you do that though, before you walk through that doorway the first time, that dialogue will still pop up. So either he's saying it to you from like a ethereal dimension, or maybe he's just simply invisible and you can't see him anymore, or maybe the person who programmed this game did not know what he was doing.
We'll leave
We'll let that
you
just
guys
hang in
decide.
the air to figure it out.
Or maybe spend the buck to find out for yourself.
Yeah.
At the end. Are you gonna try to tie up a giant tardigrade?
You're not nearly strong enough to do that.
You can't tie up a giant tardigrade like that. Its legs are far too stubby.
Have you checked out that little treehouse?
Yeah, I got a key from it.
Oh, cool. You don't have the proper equipment to pass.
So I guess
go
I
ahead and tell
gotta.
you.
So I guess I gotta.
Maybe you should
backtrack.
sleep on it. That's a hint.
Oh yeah, I got a cactus. I need. What?
Ah, yeah. See,
Grit.
adventure games.
Uh,
What was the puzzle? Now, what you need to do.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good puzzle, I think.
There's cactus, grit, and gold.
Yeah, but then what did you need to do with it?
I had to like combine it or something, or something like that.
Are you sure?
You've got that bronze pot.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you go back and read the Dreamcatcher again, see if anything on the way to the Dreamcatcher catches your eye.
There you go.
A thing that I did add into this game, this was in the regular edition too, but is you can show items to either Marcus or the Grand Historian, and you can they can give you you can either like try and sell them, or they'll give you information about them if they know any, or if they want to take it. So I think Marcus is the best person for that, if I remember right. I'm not positive, but I think like if you show Marcus some of your items, he will. Just some sticks. It's not. You need a kindling to start a fire.
Right.
So open your inventory up. By George, I think he's got it.
If he saw the object he needs to use that paper in.
That? Oh yeah, because I got the silver key. That makes a lot.
I mean, all those things are true, but they're completely unrelated to what we're talking about.
Now we're point and click adventuring.
Where are you trying to go?
I have to pee.
God damn it. Alright, Tony, you're gonna have to talk for a minute.
That's fine. So silver key, silver chest.
Alright, yeah, that's the hunter's chest.
It says scaling.
Yeah, it's just some animal skins. Oh, and something else.
Oh, a gold tooth, which is exactly what I need.
Yeah.
Something gold.
Alright.
Okay, so grit, I'm still sort of on.
Yeah, you don't really have any grit.
Yeah.
But maybe you can get started. You need to get a fire started. So why don't you take that piece of paper and figure out how you can turn it into a bunch of pieces of paper. Alright, Alright, so what you're going to do is, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you,
Yeah.
is go see Marcus and show him your bottle of green liquid. And all the things that we're doing right now are completely unrelated to the fire. Now, can you imagine where you'd want to use a bottle that makes something fade away?
In front of that tardigrade thing?
There's not enough to cover the whole tardigrade, remember?
I mean, would I cover it on myself?
No, well, in a sense. Remember when you saw that shadowy figure? There was something behind him that was just out of reach, but he wouldn't move out of the way?
Uh-huh.
Maybe you should just make him disappear.
Shed a little light on him.
But before that, you should probably use the paper shredder in the historian's office.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the paper shredder.
The doy!
This has just become a walkthrough.
Alright, so. Now you've got some kindling. I do like this music in the game, though.
Yeah,
it's
no,
very soothing.
Yeah, it has like a nice dichotomy to it.
Yeah. Alright, now you need something to cook
Peaceful
in.
music.
Perfect. Who gets that joke? Who gets that joke?
I don't.
That's an Arrested Development joke.
Yeah.
In Arrested Development, Carl Weathers would always be saying, you just get that, you add yourself some tomatoes, a little carrots, you have yourself a stew going. Because the joke in Arrested Development was that he was poor, and that he was always trying to leech off of other people's food and stuff.
Carl Weathers is in the guy who played Apollo Creed?
That's the one.
Oh! Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
So you need some matches, is what you need if you want to get that fire going. Yeah, you don't know where to get matches right now. So you better go and make that dude disappear and just kind of see what happens from there.
It's about time for my yearly marathoning of the first 4 Rocky movies.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's the one time of the year when I get down, usually when it's humid as all balls and nothing feels like it matters. I hate the summertime.
Well, it sure is humid as all balls outside.
So yeah, I just need a little bit of motivation. So I'll marathon all 4 Rocky movies.
As if perhaps you're just stuck in like an entire room full of hanging balls and they're surrounding you and you're stuck in their undercarriage moisture. That's what it's like to live here.
Yeah,
this time of year.
It's like living under a really depressing scrotum.
That dialogue was supposed to come up before you put the face in, but whatever.
It did.
Yeah, it did. I
It
just...
just came up again.
You just clicked through it real fast.
Yeah.
So what'd you get from that?
Got a key, which my guess is...
The visitor center! Long awaited!
Oh, we get to go inside of it.
There it is!
Oh man, it looks great. It's more than I ever imagined.
Look at that potted plant.
It's brown and yeah, it's not great.
Oh,
Why don't you go up? That's where the best stuff is. Oh no, it's blocked! It's ornate and twisted wrought iron forming into flowers and trees and dragons. It's truly magnificent. It's so amazingly detailed it could not fit within the limited confines of this game world. But trust me, it's freaking ridiculous.
Now that...
So maybe I did get a little bit meta at one point. But that's the only time I get that far.
Hey, you got a fuse of some kind.
I do.
Oh shit. Figured it out. Are you sure?
God.
Oh, this is all new to me. I'm excited.
Nothing happens.
Didn't...
And now your fuse is gone.
Now I'm sad.
Suck it!
I want my $1 back!
No, go back in that room. Go back in that room. All of that was a ruse to get you to ignore the true problem. The bottom right-hand cabinet door. No, now, see, you clicked on this, so now he wants to press buttons.
Seriously, give me $1.
I don't understand how this isn't terrific gaming. You found a bag of peanuts in there.
I see that.
There you go. I wouldn't eat them, but there might be somebody who's hungry.
Those are space peanuts.
Alright, and I will tell you now, and I will give you no other hints, there are 2 things in this room you need to beat the game. Now we'll see how long it takes you to find them. Does this room look familiar?
Yes! This is the pixel therapy room.
This sure is the Pixel Therapy room.
Fun fact, viewers.
This is where the show Pixel Therapy was filmed. We don't have a lot of money here in Filthy and Free Publishing, so sometimes I have to reuse sets. You know, it's like how you always see the bar from Cheers and other movies. It's that same thing.
That's fair.
How you always see Toronto in, like, any Michael Bay movie.
Michael Bay just has a really big hard-on for blowing up Toronto.
Now, what did Toronto ever do to you?
Is he Canadian? Do we know?
I don't think so.
Do not know.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
It's just Michael Bay. I'd continue reading. This is where it gets kind of dark. Yeah. Slip in a little violence.
If there's one thing we love here at Filthy and Free, it's fucking dark.
Well, look at this room. Look how it's lit. I mean, obviously, this is a creepy room where weird things happen. And the music has changed also.
Oh, you know, did you put in anything that's like, if Argon steps into the room, it's just like, this room's oddly familiar.
For this room?
Yeah.
No.
You should.
I didn't.
You should put it in the special edition.
The re-release.
Director's cut.
Yeah, with
the Arys Edition.
VR, I guess.
Yeah, the Arys Edition VR special edition alpha.
And now you're summoning a demon. And you found a thing underneath all of that garbage.
Oh.
If you hadn't have clicked through all of that, you never would have found that book.
Clicking and digging
Is that incredibly unintuitive, or is it well hidden? Because I can honestly not tell the difference.
A part of me is just like, think of the first letters of those words.
Yeah. Barely a puzzle. Stuff like this right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is just waiting to see if somebody gives up. Alright, you found the 2 things. You can leave now.
But it's jammed shut.
You've got your diary and you've got your box of matches. And you should know by now where both of those things belong.
Wunderbar.
Oh yeah, diary for the fucking
Historian?
No?
Or the other guy?
the other guy was all like, if you find my journal thing.
Oh, the Shadow.
Yeah.
Shadow.
Oh, I just walked past him. I guess I'll do the matches thing first, and then I'll talk to the shadow person. The fucking vortex man.
Oops. Fusion. Talk to Fusion.
Mr. Tornado was his name. Oh!
Hey!
Good
changing it
saucy
up now.
in here now.
Oh shit.
Damn, hot and heavy. Please welcome to the stage, Chastity!
Okay, so I still need grit.
Yes, you need grit.
Bag of peanuts? No.
Now
Yeah, that's another example of the stream of consciousness fluff text writing there.
I have to find aluminum foil now.
You don't need to find aluminum foil. Maybe you should burn your rope. You'll need that.
I don't know.
Didn't you meet somebody that was hungry? Maybe needed some peanuts.
I mean, there was the guy who wants his journal. The officer guy was asking for a respirator.
Well, he was asking for a new respirator, but right
Well, yeah,
when
at the end he
walked
did
away-
say like, "Oh, I'm starving."
You should
Yeah.
get him
I
a
do remember
Snickers.
that.
It's packed with peanuts.
I mean, but peanuts are also extremely packed with peanuts. Call me wrong. Call me wrong right now.
Use it on the fence.
I mean, that's the only.
Tony throws peanuts through the fence and says, "Get him yourself, bitch."
It's a good way for him to get him to open the gate.
Yeah. Can't go that way. I didn't model anything in that direction.
They don't gotta know that.
This is where it really gets serious with the. Oh, you accidentally clicked him again.
No.
Oh no!
All this dialogue.
Oh shit!
All this.
Just escape.
Yeah, I was
exit up at the
gonna say.
top.
I was gonna say, thank God you put that option up there.
This isn't a game that you would normally play at 4K resolution. We're just doing it because it acts weird if I don't full screen it for some reason. Again, just top-notch game design. It's top-notch.
The best games.
10 out of 10.
Alright, so you've got 2 pieces of silver.
Which I used to buy
The cloth.
Uh-huh.
which I used to clean off the telescope.
Oh, look at that!
Grime and
Look
shite.
at that! Putting the pieces together. You're gonna win the golden puzzle piece with that kind of attitude.
Like in Banjo-Kazooie?
Give it to Marcus.
Just like in Banjo-Kazooie.
That was my favorite game.
And Banjo-Kazooie 2. Banjo-Tubly. Tubly? I don't know how to do that. with the
Mission
same-
and Tubesable.
The callback.
Hey, callback to our other jam this week.
Yeah.
Alright, you've got
Got some claw.
the cloth. Now you can go clean off the telescope and give the dude his diary back in one fell swoop.
That's true. The what's it called? Was the lamp supposed to be like sort of a like ha 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 hee hee reference towards like the King's Quest games?
In which way?
Like just the fact that it exists. Because
Yes.
I think that what was that like King's Quest like what 5 when you had to go through the islands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was thinking that earlier. I was like, huh, Genie's lamp. Like in King's?
Mm-hmm.
But I
That's
didn't wanna
not
say
5
it.
though. That's 6.
Oh, okay. I mean,
But yes, it is. Absolutely. And also just kind of the generic like Aladdin's lamp
oh yeah,
style
totally.
trope. You know, I've always really liked those oil lamp look. The look of them, it looks very kind of weird.
Yeah.
You know, it looks like something that a genie would be inside of, you know? Also, the word Zounds is a straight rip on King's Quest, just for funsies. And there's Nagasaki Plantation. Technology of the future today. Clean it!
I did, but he's all like, give me money.
Oh, well, you gotta pay him money. Why are you so cheap, Tony?
He spent all his money on that cloth.
Well,
It's really expensive for a cloth. by
it's
the way.
only 2 silver.
Yeah, 2 silver.
Did you not hear the entire great speech about how important the cloth is? It's a really good cloth.
It
soaks
cleans
up,
barbecues.
It absorbs, like,
So it's a ShamWow.
yeah, well, hey, you said that, not me, okay?
It's a scam, wow.
Hoi, 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 hoi.
Well, you can use your 2 silver and shove it up your ass.
Oh, thanks for giving me your 2 cents. About
2
silver.
silvers. Hoi, hoi.
You don't deserve to sip your drink like that. It wasn't that clever. Obviously, they're 2 cents.
I can just be refreshed.
You could be, but you're not. Because you're drinking,
It's just regular water.
it's got peaches on it.
Well, it's got regular water in it. It's peach fizzy water.
Gross.
No, it's
Like
actually
some kind of nasty
really tasty.
fizzy water.
Yeah, it's like
Like, what are you,
carbonated
in
water.
the 40s?
I mean, I
Hey, go down and get me a fizzy pop down at the drugstore. A peach fizzy pop?
Yeah,
Oh,
check.
that'd be some joyous.
A vanilla Coke for a nickel. Sign me up.
I'm drinking vanilla Coke for a nickel.
Yeah.
Give me a nickel.
I thought, no, you give me
No, you give me a
You give
nickel.
me 95 cents because I already asked you for $1.
When?
Like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, because of the whole, like, he wants a refund.
I don't want to
Okay, so now it's indicating I should go through the mists.
Yes. Game direction.
I mean, I do really... Ah, crap. But no, I really do, like, appreciate the whole, like, the first chunk of the game, you're gonna be, like, doing stuff and collecting stuff, but not using stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, it is Banjo-Kazooie.
There's the joke. That was the joke. He said, I'm going to give you one last piece of advice.
And they give
And
me
he
a
gave you a
puzzle.
puzzle piece.
That's the end.
That's
Okay.
the joke. It's not the end. And that's the end. It's already clean. You need money. You don't have money. Get out of here.
I got that gold puzzle piece.
Did you make the dude disappear?
Not yet.
Well, you better do that.
Well, I'm gonna.
You should have done that before coming here. Then you wouldn't have had to backtrack.
Well, I'm gonna have to.
You know? Looks that way.
It's just more filler. That's great.
You get your dollar's worth.
That's right.
It's true. But yeah, no, I do like how, like, you just collect stuff at first and then it's just a waterfall of, like, use. Remember all that shit you did earlier?
Yeah.
Use.
Well, I hate in a lot of point and click games that you only ever have like one way. I mean, obviously there's only one way to solve these puzzles, but I want you to have the options when you're solving them to think about maybe this or this or this or this. Whereas nowadays in like the Telltale games and stuff, you only ever have like one or two inventory options at a time,
Yeah.
and so you just you're never confused as to what you're supposed to do next. And I like the confusion.
By the way, was there anything inside of that hunter's chest?
Yeah, you got the diary, right?
The hunter's chest?
The silver chest?
Yeah.
There was the animal skins, and then there was the gold shark tooth.
Oh, that's right. I'm dumb.
You put that in the thing.
Yeah.
Did you go make the dude disappear? No.
Shit, I
You
the wrong
got
way.
your sleeping salt, and then you went the wrong way.
Yeah, I totally went the wrong way.
You don't want to
I
make
thought.
the shadow fall asleep.
I mean,
It's not going to
could
help nobody.
you could fall asleep?
You want to hold on to the salts for a minute. Just take care of the shadow, and then go back. And what time are we at? Oh.
We've been going for a while.
Yeah.
Well,
How much longer is this?
Well, the video will cut out at an hour, and then I'd have to hit record again. So here's where I'm going to give you guys the decision now. We can keep going today and finish it, and release it as a big one or in 2 parts, or we can stop and then come back. You can save your game and then come back to this later and finish it next week. I'll give you all the decision.
Tony's playing.
It's not. I mean, we're more than halfway done.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
would say.
I mean, yeah, we could always just like do it next week. It'll, you know.
It's not much farther, but. Alright, now here is probably the most unintuitive thing. That dropped a lantern.
Like in the
Shed.
storage shed.
Yes.
Yeah, where the old robot is.
Oh.
It's a shed of many visits.
Yeah, I recall y'all saying that. I mean, so I guess by the time I get there, the thing will cut. Like I said, we can continue it next week.
Alright, well, you heard it here, folks. We'll see part 2 of Tony playing the Arys Expedition, while Eric and I talk nonsense in the background, and I sometimes judge my own work not harshly enough.
Like a fucking scrub.
And I'll ask for my refund again.
And he won't get it,
Never.
because
Ever.
I spent it all on hookers and booze.
It's $1.
They weren't great hookers.
And the booze was
And
awful.
the booze was free, because everything's free if you stand next to the trash can.
It's true.
Money.
Oh.
And where would you take your money?
To the guy.
To the guy. But we're not going to do it right now.
Nope.
We're going to hit escape, and then you're going to hit save game. Save your game. We're gonna hit escape again, and you're gonna save your game in a different slot.
Just in case.
Because I don't trust this.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
still don't really trust this, but we're gonna try it anyway.
So.
Good night, everybody. See you next time.
Bye.